Hello everyone. It's been a year since I think I posted something on my YouTube channel, and I know I don't have a lot of followers, and I not really doing this video because of that, but I kind of want to share something that has been happening in my life, and it's part of my artistic process. So I thought it connects pretty well in what the intention of this channel is all about. I didn't prepare a script. Normally I do, but today I didn't. And as this video ends being, that's what I'm going to post on YouTube and just let the content exist. Which sometimes as an artist is really good just to let the message exist as you are putting it out without overthinking it or without cleaning it. So. Don't know if I talked about this last year, but basically I'm writing a play. That play talks about relationships, romantic relationships, fear to be in one, and it's called Intimacy, and it's something I've been working on writing. And funny enough, I was scared for a real long time. I still am. Scared to have a long-term relationship, and there's so many reasons for that. I think part of it was because of the fear to end doing the roles that I saw my mother or women around me do, to have to go through the violence or the abuse that I saw them go through, and not have the tools or the ability to confront it, to be able to put boundaries into the things, and mark limits, and make my partner understand that I am not just a woman that is meant to feed a baby and cook for someone and clean the house and administrate the house in general. And it's a lot of work to do that, and if I do it for my own self, and I know it's a lot, obviously having another human added into the equation meant even more work. So life is so funny, and at the beginning of this year I was going through a mental kind of breakdown, and I was getting really tired of this lockdown that we're living in, and the pandemic and everything, and it finally hit me that we were alone and all that, and it was a really hard time. So I decided to focus on my health and focus on my physical health, because the mental, I was working since like last year around July or August. I started going to therapy again and trying to understand that fear, and it was particularly out of a really horrible experience on a date. I needed to know if I was the problem, or what was the problem, and how could I help fix it. So I've been in that process, and then on January I decided to take care of my body because I didn't feel quite happy with it. Not because I felt fat, I just didn't feel, like I was tired all the time, and my body felt weak. And more than being fat or thin, I hate feeling weak. So I needed the strength back, and I needed to feel alive again. So I started going to a nutrologist and changing my patterns and changing my habits. And even though we go back to habits, and I realized this week that I've been back to a lot of my habits, and I lost a lot of the changes that I made through the years, through theater school, which was a little disappointing, to be honest. It was going back to that, back to trying to change those. In that process, I met a guy, and the story goes, a girl meets a boy, the girl hangs out with the boy and the girl fell in love, and then so on and so forth. Typical normal relationship stuff. That's the normal stuff. Now, there has been so many freaking things that I have discovered that I don't think I will have the time to speak of all the discoveries in this video. But something that makes me want to talk today about is exactly what I started to talk about at the beginning, that fear of becoming the person who manages the house. Not because I cannot do it, but because I already manage so much at work that managing it on the house alone felt like I'd rather do it alone than having another human added into the process. And if I'm going to take care of the kids alone, I'd rather do it myself. I think that's a really millennial kind of way of thinking, and I think it's not also correct. And I have discovered through these past 4 months that there's a lot of value on building meaningful relationships and how much we need it as humans. I think one thing that I learned is that I mirror myself with my partner a lot, and his reflection of me and my reflection of him has helped me a lot to unlock things, to see myself from a different perspective, to confront myself with parts of me that I dislike, and decide to make choices of changing it, not because of him, but because I don't like them for myself, and that's not the person I want to be. It has made me think about leadership and my art and what do I want to put out there in the world. And it's amazing how much we need each other. We need each other, not to codepend on each other, because that's not the message I want to give, but because in that interaction, in those social bondings, we are able to understand ourselves and transform the situations that we are in. Now, my relationship, it's going well. I think there's challenges like in any other relationship, but that fear is still there. And today it hit me the most. I woke up at 4 a.m. because I had a lot of work to do, and I had to create some pieces for work. I went to bed at 12:30 a.m. yesterday, so I wasn't really able to do it before today at 4 a.m. It was the only time I could do it. So I woke up at 4 a.m. Now my partner is working at night, so he arrived around 5:30 or 6. And when he arrived, well, he went to bed. I continue with my life as usual. It's really weird because while I was working, he was sleeping, but at the same time, I'm getting used to that, and to not have him around, which he wasn't around in the mornings anyway. So actually, it's weird when he's around and I'm around, and I'm working, and he's just kind of staring or trying to avoid being on camera. So it's been quite a journey to do that, and for one thing or another one, I woke up, I did my work, I prepared for my stuff, and then later on I had to call. We got a dog, so I don't know if you can see him, he's asleep, but this cutie, come on Canelo, I'm going to wake him up. Yeah, I know I'm cruel for waking him up, but let me show you this cutie. So we got a dog together, and this is our little buddy, Canelo, like the boxer. I know you don't want to wake up. Come on, let me show you to the camera. I know. So this little buddy, who is still sleepy, is a puppy. And for those who have had a puppy, you know how much work it is. So I have a couple of things to do. I had to take him out, give him food, play with him, all that jazz. And besides that, I have to call the insurance to figure out what the dog is having for plan, because it's so expensive to take him to the vet, and he's a puppy. So that's been quite an interesting ride for the last almost 2 months. So we went there. I was working, and I had to, in between my breaks, in the 15 minutes lunch break or dinner break of my day, I had to make those calls. I had to cook. I needed to clean up a little bit the house and, kind of maintain things. Obviously, I'm not perfect and I'm not the cleanest human at all. I'm actually quite disorganized, and the more chaos there's around me, the better I work, but also I don't function as well. I work better, but I don't function as well. I'm not as efficient that rather if I have a clean space. So I didn't wash the dishes yesterday. As I said, I went already really late to bed. I had to wake up really early today, so the dishes weren't my priority last night. And well, my partner complained about that, but by the point he complained about that, he was just waking up, and I had already worked, made calls, sent emails, and I was waiting for him to wake up to make a call to insurance because we want to get insurance for both of us. So I make the call for the insurance, and I was there checking the prices and talking with the agent and everything. And I thought it was going to be a benefit for both of us. So I really wanted more of his input into the call, basically, and to ask more questions. And he seemed to understand way better what an insurance or a life insurance or like a medical insurance works, how it works and how it functions. And I didn't. So his comments started to make me feel a little defensive and uncomfortable. And it's not because he was being mean or anything. Like, please do not take it as if like he's the worst man ever, because that's not my point. But he was just being his kind of goofy self, and that goofiness really made me feel like I had to be the adult in the relationship. And I don't know how many women go through life feeling that way, but this was a feeling I was avoiding. This was a feeling I didn't want to feel. It's uncomfortable and it sucks, and I don't like it. And as much as I hear people saying that the partner, the correct partner will arrive and everything like that, I really am starting to understand that the creation of that partnership is the actual work that you have in a relationship. And I am now faced with that work. And now I'm faced with the choice of doing the work or staying alone, basically. Those are the choices, really. Or, keep looking for another partner, which that's also a choice. But either way, whoever I'm with, I have to do the work. I need to put on the things, I need to say, to communicate when I'm uncomfortable, to voice what I'm not going to do, to mark limits, to be really strict in those boundaries. And I don't know if this is hard for everyone, and if it is, please do let me know in the comments, because I sometimes feel guilty for being so harsh. And I sometimes feel childish and like I'm making tantrums. And maybe it's just because I don't know how to communicate in these type of relationships. And I truly believe there's a lack of education in myself of how to communicate without allowing the other one to trespass, to transgress those boundaries. And without fighting. I am a fighter. I don't know how to not fight. So when I feel like something is injustice, or that something is not fair for me, or that I'm being taken advantage of, I fight back and I become really aggressive. And I know that's not the correct way to go, but to connect this to my art, I was really wondering, how much, theater is all about relationships. And here I am writing a play about romantic relationships and so on, being scared of them. And I am presented with one, and then I'm given the choice of working through it or quitting and looking for another one, or quitting, and that's it. And today I feel like I don't want this. I don't want to have to feel this way. I feel like it is unfair. The fact that I need to face my own self and put my own boundaries to myself so I can then come back to my partner and be like, I'm not okay with this. Let's work it out. And it's not even about him, though obviously his actions have created that reaction, and obviously it's a relationship of two, but I'm pretty sure I have also done that. But it really shows me how much it costs to be with someone. And I understand the selfish decision of giving up. I do. And to be by oneself. But I don't think that takes us anywhere. I am figuring out that if I quit right now, I wouldn't be able to talk about what's wrong. And I want to do that. I want to change it. I want to be able to stop for a second right when it's happening and say, hey, I feel like this is unfair. I feel like I am feeling, these are my feelings. I think the way you complain about the dishes is not fair because I made the calls. I took the dog out. I am figuring this out. I'm fighting this fight. I'm working. I woke up at 4 a.m. and I just slept 3 hours and a half, and you had the entire morning, and then you wake up. You don't have to cook for yourself except for breakfast because I am working. I make food for dinner, and the only thing that you really do is you prepare yourself and then you go to work. And then you arrive from work and you go back to sleep, and you wake up and then you prepare yourself for work and then you leave, and so on and so on. And it's just not fair. I didn't say that. I think I screw up a little bit on that way. I got mad, but it would have been easier to say that. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is because I want to know if this is normal. Because lately I don't know if I've been a child, or if I've been so immature, or if I've been proactive and smart about it. And I care about this person and I want it to work out so much. So I don't want relationship advice. I just want to know if there's other people that feel this way. Other women that feel like at some point either we take it because we were educated that way. I certainly think that I am a person who take on a lot and wants to fix everyone's issues, and that's a really bad habit. So obviously he's not asking me to do things, but I see problems and I want to instantly fix them, and I want to fix them at my pace, and my pace is really fast, and he's pretty slow into what his life is all about. So I want to know if there's women out there that feel this way, that feel like it's unfair, that they are taking on so much. They're taking the entire responsibility of the house as well as working. And what are you guys doing to balance that? Or are you just accepting it, like what I've been hearing lately a lot from people around me? They're just that way. Men are just that way, and they should just continue to be that way, and you just kind of have to go with it, and you have to get used to it. I don't want to get used to it. I don't think it's fair. I don't think I have to do anything that I don't want to do for someone that doesn't seem to care about it. And I'm not saying my partner doesn't care about it. I'm just saying, if someone doesn't understand something, I don't want to do that for them if they don't know what the cost is of something. In general, I just don't want to give them my time and myself and work things out. And again, this is not my partner. This is just me with that fear and increasing and exaggerating my reaction to it, and the strong thoughts that I have. So I don't want to do that. So I don't want to be okay with it. And I don't agree with the women that have told me lately that I have to be okay with it. I am not okay with that, women. I'm tired of you being okay with behavior that we know is wrong, because as we have hands, they have hands. As we have brain, they have a brain. They should be able to do it. And I know they are capable of doing it. I have a lot of male friends. I know they're able to do it. So it's not about them not being able to do it, and it's not about them just being educated to not do it. Is that besides that, we are telling them that's okay, and we're telling ourselves as communities that we have to live with that shit. I'm sorry, I don't want to live with that shit. If you do, go ahead, be my guest, but I don't want to do that. So let's just stop saying that too, like, I want to stop saying that this is not okay, this is not what I want. I'm going to have that conversation with my partner, get an agreement. I think that's what we need to do. In general, in relationships, we should communicate, say, I don't agree with this is my boundary, stick to it, be firm, which has been really hard for me, because being firm with someone means that I have to be firm with me, and I have to self-discipline myself. And to self-discipline myself, that means if I want chocolate, I cannot have chocolate. So it is what it is. And it's hard. It's hard because then it sucks. I don't want that. And obviously when you follow a discipline, you have to sometimes do things you don't like. So I don't like it, but I need to do it to mark those boundaries. So let's just start doing that. Let's just start marking those boundaries, and let's just stop treating them as if they were kids. And I'm telling that to myself too. Like, I need to stop trying to fix his problems. They're his problems. If he wants to fix them, go ahead. If not, I'll keep moving on and I'll keep going with my life. I can support him. I can be there. I can sit down and listen. I can totally be there, present in the moment with him, step by step. Find information if he needs information. Talk with someone if he needs me to talk. Go to a party with someone I dislike because he wants me to go. He wants to be with me. Watch the TV because he wants to watch the TV right at that moment and not have a conversation. I can do that. I can do that, and I can be with him. But I'm not okay with every single woman who keeps saying that I have to do a job that I'm not willing to do. And this is a partnership. It involves two people. I'm not sure why we are taking more responsibility. That's my reflection of the day. That's what I've been thinking. I hope I could share way more. But I hope whoever is listening to this takes a moment to think about women. Think about what we're really putting out there. And it's not about going to the extremes. It's not about washing our hands and saying, I don't want to deal with you, go away. I think it's about relearning and trusting that the other person can handle it, because they can. And they have the ability to do it. And if they don't want to deal with that, they just it's their choice. I hope I can solve these. I hope I can have a conversation with him, and I hope our relationship continues. It's not like I'm going to break up with him because he complained about me not washing the dishes. But I hope I can change this stereotype. I hope in 10 years, if I'm still with him, I'm able to tell the woman around me, you don't have to put on with that if that's not the role you want in the relationship. You can figure out together. That's what I want to teach the world. That's what I want for myself. And that's what I wish to everyone who is in a relationship and wants to be truly sharing a life with another human, whatever the gender, whatever the issue. Thank you so much for watching. If you have someone that will relate to this, share this video. Honestly, I'm here to just say that we gotta stop doing what we're doing and change that way of thinking. So, have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.